Ozzy Osbourne had experienced thousands of strange moments in his life, but that afternoon encounter in Birmingham would overshadow them all. The Prince of Darkness, for the first time in his 40-year career, would spend hours with a fan without exchanging a single word, because 9-year-old Alex Thompson couldn't speak. But Ozzy didn't yet know that this child, who hadn't spoken for 18 months, would move him to tears like nothing ever had before. That Tuesday afternoon, Ozzy had once again had a small disagreement with Sharon. The topic was the idea of moving to another country again, and Ozzy was against it. "Sharon, I'm from Birmingham. I was born here. I grew up here. This city is what made me," he had said. Sharon had replied, "Ozzy, you're now a global star. You shouldn't stay stuck in Birmingham." The argument had escalated, and Ozzy had jumped in his car and left. As he drove through Birmingham's old neighborhoods, he decided to go to the Aston area, where he had spent his childhood. The poor but happy days, the first sparks of his passion for music, that little house where Black Sabbath was formed. It was all here. He parked his car next to Hope Park and started walking. "Maybe a bit of walking will clear my head," he thought. The park was calm and peaceful. As Ozzy watched this scene of normal life, a strange but familiar sound reached his ears. Someone was playing guitar, but this wasn't an ordinary song or an ordinary way of playing. That person was playing the intro to Crazy Train, very slowly and melancholically. Following the sound, he came to the old oak tree in the corner of the park. There, in the shadow of the tree, sat a small child. Next to the child was an old but well-maintained acoustic guitar, and he was lost in Ozzy's song with his eyes closed. But this style had surprised Ozzy because the child was interpreting the song like a lament. As Ozzy approached, the child didn't notice him. Alex, his name was visible from the school badge on his chest, was lost in another world. After Crazy Train ended, he moved on to Mama, I'm Coming Home, and this time Ozzy's eyes filled with tears. The child was playing this song with such emotion that Ozzy had never heard his own song like this before. "Hello there, mate," Ozzy said, slowly approaching. Alex startled and stopped playing guitar. He looked at Ozzy, but said nothing. There was no fear in his eyes, only surprise. "Sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. I was listening to your music. It was beautiful," Ozzy said in a soft voice. Alex still remained silent while gripping his guitar tightly. "It's nice to see someone who knows these songs. I'm Ozzy," he said, extending his hand. Alex looked at him, then at his guitar, then back at Ozzy. He slowly nodded, but didn't speak. Ozzy understood. There was something wrong with the child. "Don't you want to talk?" he asked. Alex shook his head. "That's okay, mate. I don't like talking sometimes either, especially when my wife comes back from shopping," Ozzy said in a playful tone. At this point, Alex smiled slightly for the first time. Ozzy understood this was a good sign. "You know, I'm the one who wrote these songs, but you play them much more beautifully than I do," he said. Alex's eyes widened. He recognized Ozzy now. "Yes, I'm that crazy guy, but here I'm just sitting like an ordinary man who loves music," Ozzy said, gesturing to sit next to Alex. Though Alex was a bit hesitant, he allowed him to sit down. "Your guitar is beautiful. It makes a good acoustic sound," Ozzy said, looking at the guitar. Alex lifted his guitar and showed it to Ozzy. The letters D.T. were carved on the back of the guitar. "D.T., is this your father?" Ozzy asked. Alex's eyes suddenly filled with tears, and he nodded. Ozzy understood the situation. "This is your father's guitar, isn't it? And he's not with you anymore," Ozzy said in a soft voice. Alex nodded, and tears began to stream down his face. "I understand, mate. Mine died when I was little too, and I didn't want to talk for a long time either," Ozzy said. This confession surprised Alex. The fact that this world-famous man had also suffered like him comforted him. "You know, Alex, I saw your name from your school badge. You told me with your guitar how much you loved your father and how much you miss him. You couldn't have done that with words," Ozzy said. "That's why I started making music, too. I expressed my pain, my fears, my hopes through music." Alex took his guitar and played the opening chords of Changes. This was one of Ozzy's most personal songs. This is a very special song. It talks about how difficult change is, Ozzy said. Alex continued playing the song, and Ozzy began to add his voice. I feel unhappy. I feel so sad. At that moment, a woman's voice came from the other end of the park. Alex! Where are you? Alex's mother, Sarah, was looking for him. Alex stood up and waved to his mother. Sarah came running and was relieved when she saw her son. Oh, I was looking for you. School. At that moment, she saw Ozzy, and her words got stuck in her mouth. You're Ozzy Osbourne, aren't you? Yes, that's me. And I met Alex. He's a magnificent musician, Ozzy said, standing up. Sarah couldn't hide her astonishment. He doesn't speak. After the accident. I know, Ozzy said. But he does speak. Through music. And he's very good at it. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. Someone finally understood her son. Your name? Ozzy asked. Thompson. Sarah Thompson, the woman said. Mrs. Thompson, Alex's musical talent is extraordinary. I'd like to teach him a few things if you'd allow me, Ozzy said. Sarah couldn't believe it. You want to give lessons to my son? Well, I don't know how to play guitar, but I can talk about the soul of music. Plus, I know the best guitar teachers, Ozzy said with a smile. But how? I mean, you must be very busy, Sarah said. At that moment, a few children from the other end of the park noticed Alex and came running toward him. Alex! Are you here? They shouted. Alex suddenly tensed up. These children were friends from school, but lately they had started calling him the weird kid. Sarah noticed the situation and said hastily, Alex, come on, let's go home. But Ozzy intervened. Wait, he said in a calm but determined voice. When the children approached and noticed Ozzy, they were surprised. Is Alex making music? One of them asked in a mocking tone. He can't even talk yet. Ozzy crouched down next to Alex and asked, Would you like to show them how beautifully you play? Alex hesitated, but took strength from Ozzy's encouraging look and picked up his guitar. When he started playing the opening chords of Dreamer, the children listened in amazement. The music was so beautiful that other people walking in the park also stopped to listen. Wow, Alex, this is amazing. You're really very talented, one of the children said. Alex's language is music, Ozzy told the children, and it's a very beautiful language. After this little stage performance, Alex's confidence had increased. Sarah was observing the change in her son, seeing how good Ozzy was for him. Mrs. Thompson, I'm from Birmingham. I grew up in this city, and there's something special about this child. I can't ignore it, Ozzy said. Alex was looking at his mother hopefully. The children had started to see Alex with different eyes now. Okay, Sarah finally said. But how will we communicate? Ozzy pulled out a business card from his pocket. This is my personal number. I can come here tomorrow afternoon if Alex wants. I'll also bring the best guitar teacher I know, he said. Alex nodded excitedly. Great. Then we'll see you tomorrow, mate, Ozzy said, extending his hand to shake Alex's. He set his guitar aside and shook Ozzy's hand. The next day, Ozzy had kept his word and come to the park. With him was Birmingham's most famous guitar teacher, Marcus Wright. As Ozzy approached, he said in a playful tone, Hello, rock star. This is Marcus, a pretty decent guitar teacher. But first, play something for me. Let's see your level. Alex proudly nodded and began playing melodies he knew from Black Sabbath. Marcus said, Alex, you really play with feeling. But now let me show you the proper technique for this song. Let's learn how to translate the emotions Ozzy described into music. On their second day, while Marcus was teaching Alex basic techniques, Ozzy was explaining the emotional dimension of music. Look, Alex, Ozzy said, as Marcus showed him a chord. Technique is important, but the most important thing comes from here, pointing to his heart. Marcus teaches you how to play. I teach you why to play. You may not be technically perfect, but you have something in your heart. That's much more valuable. Marcus also agreed. Ozzy's right, Alex. I've been teaching for years, but I've seen very few students who truly feel music the way you do. Ozzy continued. By the way, do you know Tony Iommi's story? Black Sabbath's guitarist. He lost his fingertips in a factory accident. Doctors said he'd never play guitar again, but he didn't give up. He made plastic fingertips and continued playing. That's how heavy metal was born. On the third day, when Marcus and Ozzy arrived, Alex surprised them. He was trying to play the intro to Iron Man on his own, and it wasn't bad at all. "Bloody hell, Alex!" Ozzy said excitedly. "Where did you learn this song?" Alex wrote a note. "I watched it on YouTube. Your old concerts." Ozzy laughed. "My old concerts, eh? I hope my naughty times from the 80s weren't in those videos. I was a bit more energetic back then." While Marcus was teaching the technique of Iron Man, Ozzy began explaining the song's meaning. "This song is about a soldier returning from Vietnam. War changed him. But nobody understands. Just like you. You've changed too. But people haven't met the new Alex yet. On the fourth day, today I'm going to tell you something very special," Ozzy said in a mysterious tone. "The story of Mama, I'm Coming Home. In 1991, Sharon was in the hospital getting cancer treatment. I first sang that song to her in her hospital room. That night I was so afraid I was going to lose her." Ozzy's voice was trembling. "That song isn't just about homesickness. It's about the desire to return to the person you love." "You want to return to your father too, don't you, Alex?" Alex nodded, his eyes filling with tears. Marcus said in a soft voice, "Alex, would you like to play this song? I can teach it to you." Alex nodded excitedly. That day, while Marcus taught Alex the basic chords of "Mama, I'm Coming Home," Ozzy told the story behind every line of the song. On the fifth day, Alex had also brought his mother. Sarah was watching from a distance, trying to see the change in her son. "Mrs. Thompson," Ozzy said after Alex and Marcus finished working, "Alex is undergoing not just a musical transformation, but a spiritual one. This child is finding himself." Marcus also agreed. "Mrs. Thompson, Alex's musical development is extraordinary. But more importantly, he's gaining confidence through music." At that moment, Alex came over to them and handed his mother a note. "Mom, I'm happy now." Sarah's eyes filled with tears. "Mr. Osbourne, Marcus, you've given my son a miracle." "No, Mrs. Thompson," Ozzy said seriously. "Alex was already a miracle. We just reminded him of that." Alex began playing changes with Marcus's accompaniment while his mother watched. This time Sarah understood the lyrics too. Change is painful but necessary. On the sixth day, when Ozzy and Marcus came to the park, Alex was playing a melody they had never heard before. "What is this?" Ozzy asked curiously. Alex wrote a note. "My own composition. I named it For My Father." Marcus listened carefully. "Alex, is this really your composition?" "It's very impressive. The melody was inspired by Dreamer, but was completely original." "Alex!" Ozzy shouted excitedly. "You're not just playing, you're creating! This is magnificent!" On the seventh day, there was an unexpected visitor. Alex's school principal, Mr. Peters, had come to the park. "Mr. Osbourne, Marcus," he said excitedly. "Alex's teachers are very surprised. He's now more active in class, getting along better with his friends. He's even started playing guitar in music class." Ozzy looked at Alex. "This is great news. You're sharing your talents with everyone now," Mr. Peters continued. "Would you like to perform in this year's music show?" Alex's eyes widened. Marcus said, "Alex is ready, both technically and emotionally." Ozzy added, "This is your decision. But I think the time has come." Alex nodded, even opened his mouth to speak. But nothing followed. On the eighth day, Alex hadn't come alone. With him was a classmate named Jamie. "Ozzy, Marcus, this is Jamie. He loves music too," Alex wrote on a note. Jamie was excited. "You're really Ozzy Osbourne. Alex keeps telling us about you at school. He's our rock star now." Then Jamie asked, "So why doesn't Alex talk?" Alex suddenly turned to Jamie and said aloud, "Because music speaks more beautifully. But now I can do both." These were the first words he had spoken to his friends. Ozzy, Marcus, and Jamie were shocked. "Alex," Ozzy said excitedly, "you've started talking." On the ninth day, the big day came. When Alex saw Ozzy and Marcus, he ran to them and shouted, "Ozzy! Marcus!" His voice was clear and strong. "I want to tell you something," Alex said in a determined voice. You didn't just teach me guitar. You taught me how to live." Ozzy's eyes filled with tears. "Alex, you taught us something," he said. "You reminded us of music's true power." Marcus was also moved. "Alex, you were an extraordinary student. But more importantly, you're an extraordinary person." Alex added, "Even though my father can't see me, I feel him. It's like he's watching me play his guitar right now and feeling proud." Ozzy wiped away his tears and said, "You are his most beautiful legacy." When the 11th day came, Ozzy and Marcus were going to make the final preparations with Alex. "Today we're going to teach you stage performance," Ozzy said. Alex was excited, but also scared. Ozzy continued, "Stage fright is normal. I've been going on stage for 50 years. I still get nervous, but this nervousness makes you better." As always with stage matters, Marcus explained the technical side, while Ozzy taught the emotional side. "Remember, Alex," Ozzy said, "when you go on stage, you're not alone. Your father's spirit, the power of music, everything we've taught you, it's all with you." Marcus also added, "And most importantly, your own talent and confidence are with you." 2 weeks later, the school music night came. Alex was backstage preparing, his hands trembling. Ozzy and Marcus came to his side. "Are you ready, Rockstar?" Ozzy asked. "I'm scared," Alex said. "Good," Ozzy said. "Fear means respect. Now go and show the world how powerful music is." Marcus also added, "Don't forget your technique, but most importantly, listen to your heart." When Alex went on stage, he went to the microphone. When he saw Ozzy and Marcus at the back of the hall, he found confidence. "I dedicate this song," he said in a clear voice, "to my father and to 2 special people who taught me how to live." Then he began playing his own composition, "For My Father." His voice was strong, filled with emotion. When the song ended, he was applauded for minutes. Today, Alex is 15 years old and the lead singer of a group called Silent Voices. Marcus still gives him lessons. At every concert, he uses the pick that Ozzy gave him, and before going on stage, he honors his father and Ozzy. Alex's story proves that sometimes the quietest children scream the loudest. They just need to find someone who knows how to listen.